one of the really good interviews I did was a guy named Matt Harrell. So at the time, Matt was the head of North America, and then he went over to Europe, and now he's the head of all of Americas at Google's Cloud Partner Business. And so I did an interview with him at a meetup group a couple of years ago. And one of the things that he told me that he used to do, because he was selling basically Google Cloud to Fortune 500 companies. So not an easy sale. I mean, it's a sale that's going to take months, if not years in many cases. And so one of the things he used to do, I feel like does a good job of encapsulating everything that we're talking about here, is he looks at what he would do is once he kind of got through the early qualification process, is he would build what's called the close plan. I mentioned this worksheet. Is he'd sit down with that person and go, listen, John, I'm really excited that you're excited. And just so that you know, as I've done this many times, right? I only work with Fortune 500 companies like you. And here's what I found. This is going to be roughly 6 to 12 month amount of work for both of us. There's going to be a lot of people on my side that are going to get involved. And on your side, typically the people that are involved are your risk officer, your compliance officer, your head of IT, your CTO. Probably going to need some people in the product team and some other places. And the next 3 steps, even from here, is one, we're going to have a couple of conversations on folks on my team and your team to make sure that we're all on board with the roadmap ahead. We'll do a product demo when it's appropriate in the next 4 weeks. I'll share some case studies for you from our customers that are already using it. That's going to require an NDA. And the last thing we'll need to do is make sure that you guys have the budgetary capacity to make this investment, even though we're talking about 6 to 12 months down the road. Before we get too far in all these other business conversations, let's make sure we check with the CFO that the investment that's going to be required is in fact going to be available. Are you okay with all that? So right there, what has he done, right? He's future-paced people. He's given them specific steps on what's happening. He's given himself reasons to fill that space between the notes. He's casting. He's telling all, like, these are the people on my side. These are the people on your side. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. And now he's got a reason. Anytime the deal stalls, he can point back to that conversation that he's going to summarize in a soft contract and go, hey, John, remember back in May when we said this is a 6 to 12 month thing and these are all the things that need to happen? We're in September, and by now, in most cases with most customers, we're usually at stage 6, 7, and 8. Gosh, we're stuck on stage number 2 right now. So help me out. Is this still something a priority that you want to get done in 2017? Or is just not a top priority for you? So the way that he sort of crafted that early message to his key counterparty on the other side, I think is a really, really good example.
You've got a deal going. You've got this prospect. You've had a couple of sales conversations. What's the first signal to you that says, oh no, I think this deal is going to stall? I think it's going to go hit somewhere, somehow, some ways, it's going to stop. How do you know that's going to happen?
Well, I think it's all about, can you guys hear me okay, by the way? Okay. So I think it's about, I was thinking this one through. I think it's really important to set the context in terms of selling a process. So I think you think about, first of all, are you targeting, before you even get into the sales process, are you targeting the right companies, right? Understanding who your market is, understanding who your buyer is within the market. So which vertical should I be going after? And then within that vertical, which buyer should I be going after, right? So the first assumption is that you're getting through to the right person. So I think that's the first challenge is, do you know who your buyer is and are you able to get through to that person? Because I've found a lot of times is when deals stall, it could be an indicator that you're at the wrong level. You're not calling on the right person, you're at the wrong level, et cetera. So I think that's the first critical aspect of analyzing and making sure you're engaged with the right type of customers. Do they meet your criteria for the right type of customer, right? I'm a big believer in selling a process. So fundamentally, what I've had success doing throughout my sales career is really understanding and developing a process to repeatable methodology of how to sell and how to be successful. And then very early in the sales process, making sure that you're selling the process. Part of sales is really helping the buyer, educate the buyer on how to buy your products, especially for folks like you, a lot of you are developing new products. You might have new markets, you might have buyers who don't completely understand what you're trying to sell them, right? So I think it's really critical to help a buyer understand how to buy your product, because what it does is it helps them look good. It helps them understand, okay, I understand, here's a plan, here's how I'm going to evaluate it from A all the way to Z, and here's how to make a decision to get through a purchase. So I think that's the first aspect that's really critical, is selling a process. And the reason I say it's important is you fundamentally have go, no-go decisions. You have multiple steps that you've engaged with your customer that they've agreed to in advance, right? So there's an opportunity for you to go back to that plan and say, look, we mutually agreed here to this particular process. Here's where we are in it. Why have things stalled, right? And you're getting that agreement up front. And what it allows you to do too is to qualify in or out very quickly. What I've found is if buyers aren't interested in following your process, you're going to have a very difficult time making a sale. Right?
So this is interesting. I'm going to ask a follow-up question on this.
Yeah.
So does that mean once you have what you feel like is a qualified prospect, like you're sitting there and telling that person, look, over the next 6 months, these are the steps that we'll be taking together, and you map it out for them?
Yeah, now you map it out for me, and you put it in a document, and you have an opportunity to have that person sign off on it. I mean, I'll go as far as developing an evaluation plan, and you put the steps in, you get feedback from them. I mean, what you're looking to do, right, is get that engagement with the customer early on in the cycle where they're committed, right, where you're giving them actions. It goes a bit back to the concept of give and gets, right? So every time they ask me for something, because typically what are they going to ask for? They're going to ask for, send me some information or send me some product literature or, send me an email follow-up type thing. That's an opportunity for you to begin the closing process, the negotiating process to get something in return, what I call the give and gets. And so I think that's an important concept. And this evaluation plan is an example of a give. You want them, this is an opportunity for them to provide input in this document. Are they taking it seriously enough that they're willing to take the time, look at the document, make modifications, and make it a collaborative experience? And that's a very important part because you're setting the context to a successful sale by getting that give and get.
Well, I think we're done here tonight.
I think it was a really nice job of encapsulating everything that we've just talked about here.